No problem. No, definitely can talk about that, Craig.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll just go to his max preps because that'll say how many he has. Jake Fromm has 116.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So 114. So he's 2 behind Jake all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Live from the Score Atlanta television studios in North Atlanta, this is Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. I'm Najee Wilkins. Happy Friday Eve, along with Craig Sager. Remember that you can stream this on CBS Sports Local streaming app Zeem, also Atlanta News First, and via YouTube TV on Peachtree Sports Network. We've got a jam-packed show for you guys today. We're going to have an official commitment on the show. We had one earlier this week, but he'll be officially unveiling this decision. That's Christian Smith of Harrison. So that'll be our second slot. The rest of the time, we'll have our South Georgia Spotlight. We'll get to some composite rankings, and we'll talk to Roswell head coach Chris Prewett. So, Craig, Friday Eve, statewide selections are almost here. How you feeling going into today?
Feeling good about it. I'm not ready to make my picks ever on Monday. I like to let the week go out, do a little extra research, think about it overnight. And so I'm going to do my picks today for all the brackets, and I'm ready for tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yes, it should be a lot of fun. So first round, remember, go to scoreatl.com for all of the coverage. We'll have everything there. And remember to tune in to this week's game, North Cobb versus Camden County. We're going to break it down a little bit more in our last segment of the show. But I will get us started. Some major news for the headlines. Central Gwinnett head football coach Larry Harrell officially resigns. Harrell led the Black Knights for the past 3 seasons, going 4-6 this fall with a 1-5 record in Region 8. 6A in 2023, Central Gwinnett was 3-7, 1-4 in Region 8, 6A, and the team went 5-5 and 0-5 in Region play in 2022. His first season in Lawrenceville. All right, also for Harold. Let's see. So Central Gwinnett had not had a winning season since 2015, but it looked like Black Knights were on the right track in Harold's first campaign when they opened the year with consecutive victories over Discovery, Appalachia, Jackson County, Hammersam Central, and Miller Grove. But after their first start since 1984, the team dropped all of its region games to finish 5-5. Basically, this is what he said. I'm going through a lot personally, and I need to take a little break mentally and refocus and focus on my family at this time. He said, adding that he will continue to teach at Central Gwinnett throughout the rest of the year. Harold had been a head coach for 10 years at 5 different programs, won a region championship in 2014 at Macon County and Montezuma, where he coached former Georgia star Roquan Smith, who is now with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I think Central Gwinnett's a really solid program. I think they just have to keep battling, keep working hard, and they'll be able to. I mean, it's tough to win in Gwinnett and win regions year after year after year, but I feel like they can keep pace with those other teams, the Brookwoods, the South Gwinnett's. And you might not know this, Central Gwinnett is the team that knocked me out of the playoffs senior year.
Oh, man. So a little bit of history there, right there for Craig, a team that knocked him out playing for the Walton Raiders. I did not know that, Craig. That's really interesting. It must have been a good team back then.
Yes, it was. We were playing at their place. We had a big lead, and they just stormed back and made some clutch plays. And I'll never forget it. It's a great stadium, great place to play. They've had a ton of athletes, and not just like defensive guys. They've actually been a hot spot for some of the better quarterback play in the state. It's really tough in that region to produce a 10-win season year after year.
That's a great point, Craig. All right, our next headline, Max Preps officially released their national basketball rankings with 6 Georgia teams nationally ranked. At number 5 is Grayson, number 23 Wheeler, number 36 Milton, number 61, Holly Innocence, number 84, Tri-Cities, and then number 88, Norcross. Grayson obviously has the 5-star. Caleb Hope's having a great year so far. Cal State Fullerton commit KJ Garris. Senior guard Chris McLavish is one of the top returning stars. Amir Taylor, who committed yesterday on an official signing day for basketball and other sports across the GHSA. For Kennesaw State, he's going to be back with the team as well. They also have Georgia commit Jacob Wilkins as well that plays on the team for Wheeler. They're going to be very good this year. Tyler Jordan, a top 70 junior. Colbin Landrew has been making a lot of buzz for himself over the summer circuit. And then Coda Settle Jr., who's one of the best guards, I believe, in the country. Milton, they're going to have Josh Dixon, who's an outstanding player as well for them. Daniel Ogiemi is another big-time one for them. They're going to return 12 of their 14 varsity starters this year. Then Holly Innocence, you can't talk about the Bears without talking about Caleb Wilson and how great he's been this year. And going forward, the 5-star going to make a commitment decision here pretty soon. Devin Hutcherson and Jordan Mays are going to also return for them. And then for Tri-Cities, Trey Keith, Jalen London, and also a name you guys need to know, Jalen Wingfield, who is a 4-star forward, could have a magical season for them as well. Last but not least, you have Norcross, Jerron Salisbury, Nasir Anderson, Miles Clant, and so much more. Going to be a great team.
Yes, it will. And that Grayson and Wheeler battle in 6A is going to be quite something. Also, Milton, to see them up there really high. I know last year they started off a little slow, made a big run in 7A at the time, and now it looks like 5A, they will be the team to beat. All right, headline number 3, the GHSA Cheerleading State Championships take center stage at the Macomb Coliseum this Friday and Saturday, where teams will trek from all over the state in hopes to adding another team state championship. We talked to, I believe that was the Walton cheerleading coach at the beginning of the season. It has already come to an end. The event begins Friday with Class 2A, 4A, private, and Class A championships, while Classes 6A, 5A, 3A, and the co-ed programs take stage on Saturday. The reclassification will make the event look a bit different this season, with Class 6A as the highest, and the private schools split for the first time with 3 separate classifications. Entering the state finals, Lambert is looking for the team's 9th championship and 3rd straight after securing 7A last year. The Longhorns will also be a top favorite in the co-ed championship. In Class 6A, defending state champions North Forsyth, which won its first state title last year, is primed for another run after a 103-point effort in the sectionals. They beat Buford's 101, Carrollton's 100 points, and then Hillgrove had 105.5 in their sectional, so that'll be a big matchup to watch.
100%. All right, guys, coming up, headline 5, 13 Cobb players named to Atlanta tip-off classic watch list. 5 girls and 8 boys made the list of the top 50 players. Mount parent Jessica Fields, no surprise there. She is committed to Michigan. Her brother actually starred at Ohio State, who's now in the NFL with the Steelers. That is Justin Fields. And you have guard Kalatai Humans, Pope guard Abby Bensman, Walton guard Grayson Ellen. Mississippi State soccer commit, Hillgrove guard Yolanda Floyd, a Presbyterian commit, boys Wheeler, Amari James, Tyler Jordan, who we talked about, Jacob Taylor, Coda Settle, Pope, Zach Belshoy, Walton, Caesar Burrows, Campbell, Rye Cotton, McEachern, Christian Curl, and Pebblebrook, Max McNeil.
I think it's interesting. I didn't expect Jessica to go to Georgia. We'll just leave that right there. But I think it's interesting that Michigan was able to take her.
I'm surprised, too. I mean, especially with her brother going to the rival school.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that she
It's
went
pretty
there.
cool.
But
she's an outstanding player, and
Yes.
yeah, they're going for their 4th straight title this year. She's been a contributor as an underclassman. Now she's stepping into that spotlight. She'll be a star this season, and she, of course, made that Atlanta tip-off watch list. Real quick, we'll go back to the headlines for one more. This is out of the Athens area. It was an early signing period yesterday. They had several athletes from the Athens area signed to play in their respective sports. You had Marley Brown, softball from Madison County. She's going to Wesleyan University. North Oconee had 4 signees. Noah Allen for baseball. He's signing with Ole Miss. You got Kendall Wells, softball, Oklahoma. Audrey Patterson, soccer, Columbus State. And then Grayson Fanning, softball, Montreat College.
all right, there you have it, guys. All right, so now it is time for Georgia High School Football Daily Morning Review. As you guys know, one of our headlines that we broke yesterday with breaking news was Dawson County head coach Maxwell retiring. Spent 30 years as a Georgia High School football coach. Maxwell had winning records at 3 GHSA schools: Dawson County 69-45, Lambert 31-16, and Sequoia 97-67. He finished with a career record 197-128 here in the state. He led Dawson County to its only region titles in school history in 2015 and 2022, and Sequoia to his only region championship in 2003. So great career for him. He is officially retiring. All right, 4 questions with Ken Brady, Stevens County, play-by-play announcer. Asked about how he got involved in play-by-play and how he's been able to kind of establish himself in his career so far. What keeps you in it after 33 years? What does he enjoy most? He said he's been very blessed to broadcast high school sports and witness the Friday night excitement, the competition of young men going on the field. He said it's especially gratifying when a parent, grandparent, or relative of a player thanks us for broadcasting the games when they can't be there themselves. What style of announcer are you? And then what is crunch time? What do you enjoy about that? So that full interview is in the morning review, so definitely check that out. All right, scoring defenses at number 1 for 6A. Grayson, 9.1, no surprise there. 5A, you're going to have Hughes at 9.1, Marist, 5.5 and 4A, Calvary Day 8.1 and 3A, Carver Atlanta 6.4 and 2A, Class A Division 1 and Savannah Christian 8.1, and then Metter in Class A Division 2 with 8.3. I'll tell you what, that is why I'm so high on Hughes, Craig. What they could do offensively, scoring all those points, and defensively, they usually shut you down. So when you have both of those, that's why they're my pick in 6A.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see with that ability to play a defensive game if they need to. They can slow it down tempo-wise on offense, but I also think they're a team that's equipped to play from behind. They have a great passing game, and the defense can get them back in games. So I think there's some teams that aren't really built to play from a deficit. Hughes is. Their defense is able to get the stops, and they have the firepower offensively where no lead is going to be safe against them in the playoffs.
100%. All right, guys. So next up, we got trivia. So let's go ahead and talk about yesterday's question. The first round of the playoffs often features few upsets. In 2023, the computer Maxwell ratings was correct on 111 of 127 first-round predictions. The biggest upsets came in the highest classification, with 2 top 10 teams losing to unranked teams at home. What reemerging South Georgia Power upset 21-point favorite Newton, and what Gwinnett County team with a 5-5 record last year, but only 2 seasons removed from a state title, beat 19-point favorite North Cobb? So that answer in South Georgia, correct, was Camden County. They beat 21-point favorite Newton in the first round last season, and I was right on Collins Hill beating North Cobb last year. All right, let's go to today's trivia question. All right, Houston County's Antoine Hill has thrown for 10,152 yards in his career, good for 10th in GHSA history and 2nd in school history. What player holds the Houston County record with 12,745 career yards? Craig, you have a great stat on this as well.
Yes, that will be Jake Fromm, and so he's about, looks like 2,000 yards ahead of AJ, but heading into this week, there's a 2-touchdown difference on the all-time career list between Jake Fromm and A.J. Hill. Jake Fromm's at 116, A.J.'s at 114 heading into this matchup. If A.J. Hill has 2 touchdowns or more, he's going to move, I believe, number 6 all-time on the career touchdowns mark. So that's a major milestone to watch this week. Another one is Juju Lewis. He's at, I think, 240 yards shy of the 10,000 mark. He'd be one of, I think, 12 players to ever hit that milestone. He is the fastest. He would be the fastest to ever hit 10,000 yards in his first 3 seasons, even though he reclassified. And there's some really interesting stats with comparing his first 3 years to Gunnar Stockton's, to Trevor Lawrence's. He's pretty much on pace for that. If you look at the math, he probably would have been able to potentially get by them. And the reason all 3 of those guys have been able to kind of lead the stat yards because they all made big playoff runs as a freshman and a sophomore.
There you go. There you have a great intel from Craig on the great stat and the potential history that Antoine Hill can make on Friday night against Clark Central. All right, guys, that's all we got for now. Coming up, the commitment.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, guys, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. So we are here with some big breaking news coming right up at the top of the hour. We're super excited. Christian Smith of Harrison is going to be on the show. So, Christian, welcome in, man. What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm doing good.
I'm doing good, brother, man. It's always good to see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Likewise.
Right. Yes, sir. 100%. So, Christian, tell the folks out there, man, a little bit about your football journey, man. It's been a special year for you, but how did everything start? How have you been able to get to this point?
All right, man. You know, it's the beginning of the year. We got a new head coach. You know, we were in a lot of turmoil. Everybody thought that, you know, we weren't going to do much this year. But, you know, I believe in everybody from the start. You know, we well coached. We work hard in the off season, and, you know, we play hard at practice. So we ended up 9-1, first seed in our region, won the region championship. And we doing good, man. We doing good.
100%, man. Now, look, I want you to tell the people, when I initially watched your film, Christian, you were playing a lot of edge. So I watched it the other night, and they got you lining up everywhere. You're playing outside backer. You're lining up in coverage, Christian. I mean, they got you doing so many things. So I want you to talk about that conversation you had with either the defensive coordinator or the new head coach where they're using you all over the field and you making your impact felt with these 58 tackles, 4 sacks, four forced fumbles, and an interception. Talk about that.
Hey, man, at the end of the year, you know, I was getting calls from college coaches. They were telling me that I was an undersized DN. So I was like, hey, coach, you know, got to help me out, man. And if you put me at linebacker, I'll make plays for you. So, you know, I did a lot of training in the offseason over summer, went to a lot of camps, got trained from a lot of different people, you know, shout out to those guys. And, you know, I basically just had to make the switch, man, or I wouldn't be where I am today.
100%. And obviously you talked about the mindset of making that switch, Christian. So what goes into that? Like, what are some things you have to work on that might be a little bit different outside of an edge rusher compared to a linebacker? Like, is it footwork drills? What were some things you had to kind of hone this in on?
Oh, man. I'd probably say the main thing is the stamina. I'm going to be honest. Running around the field instead of just, like, you know, taking those quick 3 steps, it's completely different. I'll say that. And, you know, being able to go step for step with running backs, tight end, that's something that I was kind of, you know, able to get into without pretty easily because, you know, I'm pretty quick on my feet. So footwork, all that stuff, you know. 100%.
Now, Christian, don't reveal your decision just yet, but I do want to ask you about recruiting. You started to blow up. Kennesaw State, UAB, several others was in contention for you and started to kind of hit you up. I seen you took some official visits as well to these campuses. What was your favorite part about the recruiting process for you and starting to kind of see your name kind of, you know, blow up a little bit?
Honestly, my little brothers, man, and my biggest fans, you know, seeing them see me, you know, get the attention, you know, go D1, I guess, as they would say, you know, it made me feel happy because they put a smile on their face.
100%, man. Just talk real quick before we reveal the decision. Just being a role model for your brothers, just a positive influence that they can look up to and know that you can do things the right way, battle adversity, and get to this point.
One more time.
I said just talk a little bit about being a role model for your brothers, just being a positive influence that they can lean on and they can see you can be successful in life even when you face adversity.
Yeah, man. Those guys, they look up to me. They're my biggest fans. Come to every game. Even they ask me to train them. They watch some of my film. Hey, man, I want to get as good as you. Come train me outside. I go outside when I got time. I just be there for them. Be that role model. Be that person they can look up to. Being the firstborn son.
100%, Christian. All right, man. So it is that time. So I'm going to give the floor to you. Anybody you want to shout out, anybody you want to thank before you unveil your decision?
All right, man. I want to say shout out to my dad, man. He helped me through a lot of this. If I didn't have him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. He helped me with a lot of stuff on Twitter, all that type of stuff. Shout out to my mom. She kept me fed, all that. Shout out to my uncle, man. He's been through this process before. He's helped me out a lot. He was very successful in his career. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody else in my family, close friends. I talked to everybody when it come to making my decision, and they were a good person to speak to. And so, after a lot of thinking, it wasn't an easy decision. I decided to commit to the University of South Florida, man.
There we go, man. All right, let's get the unveil, man. I think you got an unveil.
Oh, yeah. Big South Florida, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. So there it is, guys. That's the breaking news. Christian Smith is officially a USF Bull. So, Christian, I seen that they offered you back in October 29th, I believe you posted on your Twitter. So what was that recruiting process like from that point? And it looked like they went really hard for you. So talk a little bit about that.
Okay, man. So October 29th, man, it was like a month away from signing day. I was like, man, okay, let me look at what I got right now. It's coming closer for me to have to make a decision. Went out to eat, and then I was at Zaxby's. My boy Colin, he was like, hey, man, I got a phone call for you. I pick it up, USF coaches. We're just chopping it up for a little bit. 5 minutes later, he's like, hey, man, we got an offer for you, South Florida. He was like, we know it's a little late. I was like, oh, snap, it's big time. So, I let my pops know. Everybody was hyped for me. And, they fought hard, man. I feel like going down there and meeting everybody, that was a game changer for me. I feel like that's a place where I can really fit in, make a family. And it's not only a place where I can play football, I feel like it's a place where I can go and I meet those people, and those are the type of people that I can have in my wedding. You know what I mean? It's like a relationship like that I can build. So
that's powerful, man. And speaking of those relationships, let's break a couple down. Chad Kramer, the outside linebackers coach, talk about him. How does he kind of see you fit into the scheme? Will you continue to play outside backer, or will you kind of switch a little bit to edge too? Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, man. Chad Kramer, man, my guy. Coach Kramer, shout out to you, man. I went down there, and we were in his office, and he showed me a little cut-up of some things that he would want to see me do on the defense from their players. And then it was pretty cool. He showed me from my film at my high school doing the exact same thing. And so that's something that was like, okay, cool. This is legit right here. So, I mean, I'm probably going to play a little bit of their they want me playing their B position, which is more like I'm rushing the passer, dropping back in coverage. It's a little bit of both. It's more mixed up. So yeah.
Okay, 100%, man. Now talk about real quick your relationship with the head coach, Alex Golish. How did that kind of build as well?
Oh man, Coach Golish, shout out to you, man. Shout out to Coach Golish. I got down there, and actually, when I first got offered, I talked to Coach Golish as well. Seemed like a cool dude. Just wanted to meet him. And nothing changed, man. He's still a cool guy. I met him. Pops met him, and we had a great conversation in his office. Talked about ball, talked about how things are going for USF, how the program's on the rise, all that type of stuff, and everything was great, man.
All right. So only got a little bit of time left, Christian. But what is your message to Bull Nation? And just talk real quick about your experience when you were down there.
Hey, Bull Nation. I had a great time while I was down there. Y'all program is coming up, man. I had a great time at the facilities, great time on campus. Campus is beautiful. Florida's beautiful. Tampa's beautiful, man. And go Bulls.
100% go Bulls, man. All right, last one. So you guys are going to play Archer coming up. I want you to talk just a little bit about that and that matchup you guys playing up against them.
Hey, man, those boys don't want nothing to do with us. They want nothing to do with us, man. I promise you, we've been practicing hard all week, watching a lot of film. Me getting the guys, we go out to eat every Thursday, do a little team bonding before a game. Got to keep everybody together, going to the playoffs, first round. Because I don't want this to end, man. I don't want to turn in my pads yet. So, got to go out there and compete. So I feel like we're going to go get that dub.
100%, Christian. Well, look, man, I want to say a special thank you for letting me be a part of your journey, man. You've always sent me your film, always tagged me, man. So it's just super special, man, to be a part of this alongside you, man. And look, I know you're going off to school. Do not be a stranger, man. I still want to see your college tape as well. I still want to support you in everything you do, okay?
Yes, sir. You know it, man. I appreciate you as well.
100%. All right, guys, there's go Christian Smith. He's officially a USF Bull. All right, guys, coming up, we'll have Roswell head coach Chris Prewett coming up. But one more thing before we go. I'm going to give a special shout-out and a thanks to Ashley Carey for putting this all together, our producer, and being here today and allowing me to do this commitment. Special shout-out to her, and obviously our Peachtree Sports Network staff. Hey, Coach Prewett, how you doing? Thank you.
His audio's not on. Let him know his audio's not on.
Hey, Coach, can you hear us? Your audio's not on. Hear nothing. Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Perfect. We got about less than 30 seconds until our break comes back, and then we'll bring you right on, Coach.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Najee Wilkins along with Craig Sager. Hope you guys enjoyed that official commitment unveil here on the Peachtree Sports Network. All right, now it is time for Roswell head coach Chris Prewett and the great program he runs out there right around the corner from the office. You know what, Coach? Got to bring you in studio next time.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely make it over. You guys have me in there. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, have a good old time, Coach. So I want to ask you, Coach, we're going to delve into this matchup, but what's just your initial thoughts of playing the same team, River Ridge, for the second consecutive year in the playoffs?
It's a little interesting, obviously. Not necessarily what you want or don't want. I don't know. That's two different teams. Even within 2 seasons, they're completely different. At least what they do around some things, just like we are. We're a little bit different than what we did last year. It's actually weird. It's happened to us 2 years in a row now. I think we've played Lanier 3 years in a row, 2 years in the playoffs, and then we're in a region game with them this year. And so obviously River Ridge has a really, really good offense. They I know Coach Collins, and I've had the fortune to go against them a couple times now, and does a really, really good job. I know they'll be well coached, well prepared, and they're definitely going to come in here, and it'll be a good, fun matchup for us.
100%. Now, Coach, I want to ask you about a player. I got a chance to see you back in June, and I was asking you a little bit about some of the top players we're watching on the team this year. One name you mentioned was Trey Smith. He's had a phenomenal year, kind of underrated player, Coach. Tell me, has he lived up to your expectation of what you kind of first saw this year for him?
Yeah, Trey has done everything we've asked him to do, with our offense. He's a dual threat guy. He's able to beat people in the air. He's able to beat people on the ground. To me, the best part that I always tell people with him that I think speaks volumes was voted as a team captain, as a first-year starter, as a junior. So I think he has the respect of all of his teammates. He has the respect of all the coaches, obviously, to put him in that scenario and to put him in that position. He's just done an outstanding job. It's not a shock to me, honestly, with how he's performed. I know it's a different day and age where you may not know who your next quarterback is for a while, and you may not have him on your roster at the current moment. But being able to have Trey, I've seen him play since he's been in 6th grade. So we knew what we had with Trey. We knew what he was good at. So we saw him do it all through JV and all through our junior program. So seeing him do it on Friday is just it's a fun maturity to see him go from doing it, on a Saturday afternoon at 6th grade all the way up to playing JV games on Thursdays and then now doing it Friday nights.
100%. Now, Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about this tough region you played in, played some stellar competition, Milton, Gainesville, Lanier. How do you feel like that's kind of shaped you guys going into this playoff run?
Yeah, the schedule has been tough all year. We faced, I think, 4 ranked teams to start the year in our first 4 non-region games. The region was tough. We finished with Lanier, Gainesville, Milton 3 weeks in a row, and for a team like us, we're not like the deepest team in the country and the deepest team in the state. So we've had to fight through some injuries, and we've played probably half our games with at least a starter or 2 out on both sides of the ball, if not more. So it's been a good growing opportunity for our program to have guys that may not be the guy or maybe weren't the guy to start the year to come through and be able to make some plays, especially as we get down later in the region. I think of we had a corner, Ian Faust, had 3 interceptions in a game against Lanier. I think started the year as a JV corner, played our first JV game and now starting varsity games for us. We have to do it old school. We have to build these players up, and the guys that we got, we're gonna pour into and get better. And he's a testament to that. Started a JV game to start the year, now performing and making good plays for us varsity wise, and doing a real good job. And there's probably 5 to 10 stories like that where we could talk about guys that played early, later, or didn't play as ton early in the year, and we're now asking them to be big factors and big contributors to what we're doing. So I think it's a testament to our program, our strength program, and that we've had those guys that have had to step up, even with guys go down. So really been impressed throughout the year, with our 2 losses. I joked with somebody the other day, we've lost to the number 2 team in the country and the number 11 team in the country. So 8-2 can look a lot of different ways, but I'm super proud of where our program is right now.
And then, Coach, in the last matchup against Milton, one of the things we've seen with them, they do a great job at protecting Luke Nickel. He does a good job of avoiding the sack. But really, you guys were the first team I've seen all season that was able to apply that pressure. You took him down a couple times. How important do you think this pass rush is going to be for you guys in the playoffs, and what has pleased you about that group?
Yeah, we're very much focused on the line of the scrimmage is something that we have to win. It's one of those things that we say, that's if we're going to lose, it's going to be very apparent at the line of scrimmage, and we've put a lot of effort and a lot of time in that. So again, being able to produce with not our full arsenal of guys playing Milton, which obviously is a tough task in itself. I was obviously proud of what we did there. Again, we played a really good first half, and was disappointed we didn't come out and play a little bit better. But again, we had a lot of guys go down, and credit to Milton for doing a good job of finishing that game. And we just hope at the end of the year, our guys both sides of the ball are growing and getting better. It's been a big emphasis, through these 2 weeks now that we've had off, is if we can play better than we did against Milton, I think the results will take care of themselves, and really trying to be more focused on what we're doing and more focused on our performance instead of necessarily the external stuff. So like you said, very proud of our guys. I thought we did a lot of good stuff and had a lot of opportunities to make some plays. And again, when you play teams late into November and early December, you're going to have guys like Milton has, where every player is a stud and every guy can go down the field and beat you. So being able to compete with those guys is a good learning experience, and hopefully prepared us for later on down the road.
And then, Coach, defensively, I want to ask you just real quick about that Lanier game. Obviously, we saw the box score. They were able to have I guess Peyton was able to have a big day running the ball. What have you guys done defensively to adjust after that? You guys did get the win, but just a game where he was able to run for a lot of yards on you guys.
Yeah, it wasn't a great game for us defensively, to be honest with you. We didn't play very well. Which was funny because it felt like in the first half we played really well, and I thought we were in a good scenario. We had a touchdown they just scored right before half, which I felt like we should have done better at. And then we came out in the second half and didn't tackle very well. We didn't fit the run very well. I think the one call I felt like I should have made was I should have called Memphis and apologized for up in that NIL deal that he's probably going to get now from that performance. So, when you think about it now, it's looking back at it, it's a good learning experience. We had, again, not to keep carping on injuries, but, we had probably 4 or 5 guys that hadn't started a game go over to Lanier and start a game. And again, it was a learning experience. We had guys in position to play or to make plays. We had guys multiple times, we hit the running back in the backfield, and, he squirted around and got some yards. There's a reason he's the leading rusher in 5A, and it's not because they're playing nobody. So he's a really good player, and I think a good testament to our region. If that guy's in the number 4 seed spot, where there's a lot of good teams in our region.
Absolutely. And then in that game, and then some other big ones like the Walton win, you guys have been able to produce a lot of turnovers this season. How pleased have you been in that department?
Yeah, our whole deal is to try to create some chaos and get our offense the ball back and give our offense more possessions. We like both sides of the ball, and obviously, the name of the game is to score points, and we got to score points to win games. And obviously, defensively, if you eliminate points, the other team can't win. So we're very, very heavy on the takeaways and making sure we emphasize that. The turnover margin is something that we monitor, and I think it directly correlates to whether we win games or lose games. And most of our losses, we've been pretty low on that number. It's not been in our favor. So being able to obviously get a couple more possessions for our offense is big. When our offense is averaging 40 points a game, and you get them another opportunity, a free opportunity. It's a big plus for us. And again, we've had a lot of learning curves going on defensively this year. We lost 3 of our 4 DBs to start the year. We had a couple new guys move into different roles. And again, playing the competition we're playing, it's hard to play defense. It's going that non-region schedule, going Peachtree Ridge, who's got athletes everywhere, to Walton, who's got guys everywhere, quarterback that can sling it around, to Westlake, to Buford. Then you get Lanier, Gainesville, Milton. It's just it's different challenges that you have to face and different things that you hope you get exposed to, so that way you can make a run later on in this year.
100%. Well, Coach, it's all the time we have. We appreciate you coming on and being a guest on Georgia High School Sports Daily. Wishing you good luck in the playoffs, and go Hornets.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, there goes Coach Prewett. It's all the time we have for the segment. Coming up, the composite rankings in segment 4 right here on Peachtree Sports Network.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Najee Wilkins along with Craig Sager. So now it is time for the composite rankings. I believe the last edition for the year, Craig. This has been a pretty good segment. Enjoy breaking this down. Just kind of compiling everything from different experts, some Maxwell rankings, some Max Preps. It's been fun looking at. So our last one, anything that's caught your eye before we break them all down?
Yeah, and I really like that ITG. They're in the composite also. They're based out of the Valdosta area, so it's good to see someone that is really involved in that community sort out some of the craziness in Region 1 this year. I think the big thing is Grayston. They were quiet for the mid part of the season, but obviously they had a huge performance against South Gwinnett, then again against Newton. And I think to see them at that top 5 heading to the playoffs, that's pretty dangerous. They're at number 4 right now. You got 3 undefeated teams left: Carrollton, North Gwinnett, and North Cobb. Obviously, we'll see North Cobb this week. So that makes sense on why Carrollton's slightly above Buford. They do have the flawless record. You see the Maxwell and Max Preps has Buford at number 1, but just talking to the GPB guys, AJC guys, it seems like Carrollton does seem like the favorite heading into the playoffs, but I think the big storyline is just going to be Region 1. Camden's not even ranked. How many teams are going to come out in this first round? And that's really going to show us what the rest of the playoffs are going to look like, just to see the South Georgia teams get in the playoffs against some of these top 10 opponents.
100%. And obviously a big-time match we got coming up. You're going to have, obviously, Mill Creek, Douglas County. So we'll have all the results and everything, and we'll be watching out for that. All right, let's go to Class 5A. And these are the rankings that I do for Score ATL. And my biggest question for 5A Composite, and I got actually a text yesterday from the head coach of Milton, just playful banter back and forth, but love Coach Reed's a great guest on the show. But I took Hughes in order to come out. Now, my biggest thing is who is going to challenge this historic team from Milton. I call them historic because it's the first time ever in their history going 10-0 since 1952. So who is going to challenge them? Will it be Lee County with their rushing attack with Usman Kroma, a Mr. Georgia finalist? Weston Bryan, who's committed to Georgia Southern. Will it be Thomas County Central and their high-powered attack offensively? Hughes, and we've seen what they can do defensively and offensively with Christian Langford and all those great receivers and running backs and offensive linemen. Or will it be a team that we just talked to, Roswell making some noise, making a deep run, Gainesville with their elite quarterback and Kareem Hughley, Coffee running the ball with Tyrese Wiggett, Brunswick with the 4-star Hayes Kent. Rome with Jaden Harmon, also a standout player for them. Woodward Academy. So there's so many questions to ask. Can't wait to see, Craig, who's going to come out on top. 5A is going to be fun.
Yeah, and one of the other things that makes 5A so talented, you got 3 defending state champs in it. You got Milton, you got Thomas County Central, and you have Coffee. So those are teams that can make a run. You have Roswell, a big rival of Milton that's already played them this season. That's tough to beat a team twice if they potentially square off later on. For me, though, I think in order to beat Milton, you're going to have a prolific rushing attack. I think a team like Lee County does. They also have the ability to pass. In the game against Roswell, Milton was heavily penalized. That kept Roswell in the game. They finally did give up some sacks, and they lost time of possession in that game. So if they're in a game where Milton's committing some penalties, you're able to run the ball against them successfully, I think you can beat them, but it's going to take both those things.
100%. All right, guys, let's go to 4A now and look at a wide-open conference, Craig. It has so much parity. Maristad 1, North Oconee 2, Blessed Trinity 3, Cartersville 4, Eastside 5, Cedartown 6, 7, Perry, 8, Creekside, 9, Warner Robins, 10, Benedictine. Craig, take it away.
Yeah, real quick, and you see Stockbridge dropping out after they had to forfeit their season. All right, Marist, they're just so consistent. We know exactly what they're going to do offensively. They'll be tough to beat. They'll slow the game down. They'll play their style of football and force you to do the same. I really like North Oconee, though. They've been my favorite. I just like their explosive playmaking. They've been tested in games against Eastside. They had the big shutout against Jefferson. That was also impressive. But I really like Cedartown. Kell's a team that's not ranked that's come on really strong. When Mooney Gibson's in that backfield, he's been pretty much unstoppable. I still really like Perry, and I think Creekside is the team to watch out for. Same story as last year. They went and played Mater Day, got smoked in that matchup. People counted them out, and then they made a run to the finals. I think the same thing could happen this year with Creekside.
Yes, sir. And we're going to find out, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch that. All right, let's go to 3A. 3A at number 1, you're going to have Peach County, then Sandy Creek. Teams that you got to definitely keep an eye on. I really like Peach County and what Coach Westbrook is doing with that group. DJ Hudson's another one for them. Bryson Hughley on the defensive side of the ball. They can run, they can pass it, do a lot of things. Sandy Creek is my team that I'm picking to win it all. I just think that they're very balanced. Caleb Hill, who's their sophomore quarterback, has come on very strong. They're going to have Dalen Pinson back after dealing with an ankle injury. So they're going to be a very loaded team. But the team to watch is Jefferson or Coney County. We could potentially have a 3 versus 5 in the second round of both teams handle business, a rematch of a 32-30 game earlier in the season that had a lot to do with the region standings. Jefferson still did get the top overall seed, but that is going to be one to watch as well. And one more thing before we go to 2A, also I want to point out Stevenson. Stevenson is going to be a team to watch as well with KJ Green and that defensive front coached by Coach Rock. They do a really good job down there at Stevenson in DeKalb. They're going to be a team to watch as well. Could potentially make some noise. All right, let's go to 2A now. All right, 2A, Carver, Columbus, 2 Pierce County, 3 Callaway, 4 Appleton County, 5 Burke County, 6 Morgan County, 7 Hapeville Charter, 8 Rockmart, 9 Carver Atlanta, 10 Sumter County.
So many interesting teams right here. I think Pierce County, we've seen what they've done in the playoffs. They are so tough. If you don't come physically to beat them and you can't stop them on those clutch third down situations, you're going to have a long day. They're just going to continue with McGatha running down your throat. I really like Callaway. They've jumped significantly with that win over Morgan County and what they've been able to do. Carver Columbus finally is at that number 1 spot. But when you got Burke County playing the way they are, Thompson's also playing well, and then Rockmart, a team that started off a little slow. They were in the finals last year, came up just short in that triple overtime to Pierce County. But I really like the way Appleton County is playing right now. They are very underrated. They did beat Pierce County this season for the 3rd time. I think with Coach Mullins, this is his 4th year there. Sometimes when you see a coach in that 4th year, that's when they really come on strong.
All right, let's go to Class A Division 1. All right, so Toombs County is the top spot, followed by Dublin. I'll be quick on this one. Toombs County is my favorite. Close loss to Savannah Christian, 14-7. Dublin got the top seed in this one. Thomasville has played a tough schedule, but came out on top. The sleeper for me is going to be Fannin County. I like what they can do with Lawson Sullivan, Carson Callahan, really good players. Northeast, Craig, I'm going to let you actually take this away real quick before we go to the next one.
So,
you very high on them and posed a great question when we were talking.
Yeah, could they be this year's Perry, a middle Georgia team that wins their first ever state title? Nick Woodford is a 5,000-yard career rusher. He's been the hottest player in the state the recent weeks. I think his experience and what he's able to do in these big-time games, he could definitely lead the Raiders to that finals.
All right, Class A Division II now. Manchester, the biggest question here, who is going to challenge Manchester? Justice Terry's been dealing with injury, and they still keep winning. Quake Cooper and what they're able to do with running the football, passing it. Kim Bowden potentially challenged them. They met last year in the state championship game. Who was going to knock Manchester off? Owen County could have a potential chance. Faced an earlier loss this year. Lincoln County looks good at 9-0. Brooks County is very battle-tested in the schedule they played this year. Can't sleep on Greene County, and Metter and Treon both have great defenses. All right, Class A 3A private. All right, here we go, Craig. Take this one away.
All right, Savannah Christian, I think you see them as the consensus #1, joining Milton as the only other heading to the playoffs. You got Prince Avenue Christian coming in at a slight #2 above Hebron. I really like Calvary Day, and I think the fact that Coach Stroud announced his retirement after this season, I think that's going to give that team a little something extra to play for.
And real quick, do not sleep on, obviously, North Cobb Christian in that bracket as well. They're going to be a team to watch. Weston could have a potential chance. All right, guys, that is it for this segment for the composite rankings. Coming up, we'll have our South Georgia Spotlight where we look at some of the South Georgia teams in their first round matchups. All right, welcome back to Georgia High School Sports Daily. Najee working along with Craig Sager. So a lot of good matchups to talk about that's going to be happening tomorrow night. So we're going to start with obviously Walton and Valdosta. Craig, a matchup me and you've been talking about off camera, but now it's time to tell the audience what we think about it. So I'm going to let you begin. What is your assessment? You're a Walton alum. What does Walton need to do in this game, Craig, to come out on top?
Well, it's all going to come down to Todd Robinson and his health. Let's start there. So I really trust Matt Stewart, and we had Glenn Diamond in the office yesterday. That's with GPB. They covered the Valdosta South Gwinnett team, and both of them said they felt when they saw Todd Robinson in person, they looked like the team to beat in 6A. They thought they were a state championship team. Valdosta was rolling, and then he gets hurt a little bit. He gets banged up. He's hobbling. He's able to come back. They get the number 3 seed, so they're in the playoffs, but it's such a tough first-round matchup, but also in the second. If they win this game, they got to play Carrollton. So, I mean, that's just 2 really tough draws for Valdosta. I think if you're Walton, you can't turn the ball over, and you have to trust Caden Gilstrap. He's a great athlete. He's actually going to be playing, I believe, 2 sports at Wofford when he goes there. So he's a very athletic quarterback, but they haven't really trusted him enough to let him use that athleticism because they've been prone to turnovers. He has a ton of those this year. So I think offensively, Walton just has to protect the football and then try to find a way to stop Todd Robinson. But I think that's the big storyline for all of these South Georgia teams is the tough draws. It's going to be very hard for these teams to make it all the way to the finals. Last year we saw one of the first finals without a Gwinnett or South Georgia team. It's going to be tough again this year, especially with teams like Valdosta and Camden going on the road.
100%. My quick thoughts on the matchup. I want to know if they can hit on the big plays. That's for the Walton Raiders. You got Christian Ward, who recently earned his 4th star yesterday. As you guys know, the rankings update for ESPN, top 300 for juniors. He's earned a 4-star officially, so I want to see, can they hit on him? He has 700 yards receiving this year, and I think close to 10-plus touchdowns. Can they hit on that? Can they get the running game going with Lucas Farrington? And if you're Caden Gilstrap, take what the defense gives you, right? Big plays might be there. Take them when the opportunity's there, but don't force it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's easy for you. Don't turn over the football, as Craig kind of alluded to. And then if you're Valdosta, I know obviously Todd Robinson ran it like 24 times in their game against Lowndes, but, you know, I would say you don't even need to run them that much, you know? Like, lean on Marcus Fennell, lean on Deron Foster, and then when the shot plays are there, let Todd Robinson throw his arm. Did you guys know Todd Robinson has set career highs in passing completion percentage, passing yards, and passing touchdowns this year? So that tells you about his involvement and how good he is. And they got Eli Lewis and Prince Jean on the outside. So if I'm a Valdosta, that would be my game plan.
Yeah, and that's another thing Matt was saying is his development as a passer this year. And, yeah, you want him as a dual threat, but in the Tift County game, he was able to lead them to that victory. Both of his touchdowns came through the air, didn't even attempt a run. Obviously, they needed him in the Valdosta game. They ended up coming up just short. So I think that they can rely on his passing in this game, and here's why it's also key. If you need Todd Robinson healthy for the entire playoffs. You don't want him taking 28 carries in this first round if they don't have to.
Exactly. And 2 more players to watch before we get to our next matchup. Kobe Brown, 6 sacks this year, and Jalen Copeland of Valdosta. All right, let's go to this one. Guys, remember, we are doing a fan vote. So pick who you're going to have come out in this matchup. Camden County versus North Cobb. Just one more sleep. It's a game day. Are you guys ready? Go ahead and make your picks. Camden County or North Cobb right here on Peachtree Sports Network at 8 p.m. Craig, let's get into it.
Okay, so
don't pick a team yet, though.
No, we'll do picks tomorrow. So North Cobb is a 12-point favorite in the Maxwells. Valdosta was a 1-point favorite over Walton. I think a lot of people that have followed South Georgia football, they feel like this Camden County team, despite having a brand new coaching staff, is very reminiscent to what we saw last year where they took the number 4 seed all the way to the semifinals. This is a huge game for them. Just being able to get into the playoffs was crucial for them. I mean, it was stressful for a lot of those teams. I feel like they're just happy to be there, and the key will be how North Cobb's going to try to guard Elias Williams. If he starts winning that matchup early, you're going to have to try to double team. That's going to open things up. And this Camden County offense is not just a one-man show. They can really get it going. But trying to guard a 6'7" receiver that, as Coach Rowland said, has been working on his routes, has really developed into a game changer in the passing, it's going to be very tough. But I'm excited about this one. I think it's a toss-up despite that 12-point spread you see.
And I'm going to say this real quick. Dylan Womack is going to be a player defensively for North Cobb. I'm watching 7 interceptions this year. If they try to do the fade ball to Elias Williams, he got to be ready to try to pick it off. But the key that Coach said yesterday, Coach Rowland said, he's not just catching the fade ball. Only 4 touchdowns on that. He's getting the yak yardage after, and he's torching defenses in the open field. And another thing, this team transitioned over from a traditional wing T to a RPO offense. So when you have that, and you have a new team, and then you have Parks Ryandu stepping up big with his throws, hey, I think Camden County got this one. I ain't trying to make a pick, but I think Camden County will pull off the upset. One more I want to talk about. We only got 20 seconds. Warner Robins and Marist. Another really good matchup. South Georgia. I know we're not doing game picks, but tell me who you like in that one.
I'm going to go with Marist just because I don't think that Warner Robins has played that type of offense this season, and it is so tough to stop that, and it's just going to be tough. I really like Jack Ewert, and the way Marist has been prepared, they're going to slow down the game. They're going to make it very tough to get off the field.
100%. Watch out for, obviously, Jack Ewert, Coach Chadwick, who we had on the show this past Friday in our bracket show. Go back and watch that on the Score Atlanta YouTube page as well. Great coach, man. I think he's one of the winningest coaches in GHSA history. So it's all the time we got for today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for our statewide selections and much, much more. And make sure you fill out that poll of who you got. Camden County, North Cobb. Tomorrow night on Peachtree Sports Network.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com.